Okay guys, so I've got an EGR valve here off of a 2009 Jeep Wrangler, and this Jeep I believe had codes 1404 and 404 if I'm not mistaken. Basically EGR valve out of range, I believe is what it was, a performance issue. There was a performance issue. So I R&R'd the valve, removed and replaced it with a new one, and that fixed the problem. I did verify that this valve was not working, and I was curious to see if there was any way that you could actually clean this and get it back to 100% working order. This is the OEM valve. The OEM valve is about $200. Aftermarkets are as cheap as about $50 to $60 and up, depending on the brand and everything. So if it's just carboned up to the point to where it's just stuck, and let me kind of show you what this looks like in here. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. I don't know if you can see that little poppet valve, little pintle inside there. Well, that's what opens up. All this is a solenoid right here, and what happens is whenever the PCM puts 12 volts to this, and it does it in a pulse width manner, so it can be you know, at 0% duty cycle all the way up to 100%, which will be fully open. It opens this little valve in here, and it allows exhaust gas to you know, route through the EGR valve. It's kind of hard for me to get a light in there so you can see. I think you can see that, hopefully. And then this one here. Hard for me to tell through the viewfinder if you're seeing what's going on, but it's just a little valve. It opens and closes, allows exhaust gas. So the first thing I want to do is I want to measure the resistance. Obviously, if the coil is open or shorted, there's no reason to go any further. So I've got a multimeter here, and let me show you the diagram. There's the connector. That's what the connector looks like with the pin out. You got pin 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this is the diagram we're looking at. So basically, you've got the ECM control wire coming down to pin 6. Then on pin 4, it's just grounded. That's the symbol for a coil. All this is just the sensor. This is a potentiometer. So what we're going to do is put power. Well, first we're going to measure the resistance of this, and then if it's good, we're going to put power. We're going to put 12 volts across this and see if it'll open at all. If you know, it might open just a little bit, might not open at all. So we're going to. That's what the plan is. And the resistance. Resistance should be about 7 ohms at 70 degrees. So I'm expecting to see if the coil is good across pins 4 and 6. I'm expecting to see roughly 7 ohms. So let's take a look at that. Multimeter set to ohms or resistance measurement. Here's your pin out. In there, the 2 bottom pins are the ones that we're going after. So trying to stay out of the camera's way. Let's see what we can get here. Okay, we got, looks like we got 7.6. Oops, hold on, I'm off of it. 7.6 ohms. So that's good. That's about 7 ohms. So a lot of times the manuals will have like a range, you know, 6.8 to 7.2 or something like that, and that would be what your optimum resistance should fall in. If this was open, for instance, that's an open reading right there. Obviously the leads are not touching anything, so that would be open. If that's what you got, it would be bad. I'm going to touch these together. If you had something close to that, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 ohms or less, then it's shorted. That's 0.5 ohms, so that would be bad. So the next step is I have a power supply here. And we're going to put 12 volts to it. I guess first I'm going to see if I can blow air through it. So I've just got an air hose here with a rubber tip on it, and I'm just going to stick it in this hole here. I guess I'll do this one. This one's more round. And I'm just going to put some pressure to it, and I'm going to see if I can feel any air coming out of this other hole. And there's absolutely zero air coming out. None. Well, there is a very, very slight bit. If I try to plug it off with my finger, I can barely feel just a little bit. So that valve is definitely closed right now. So we got about 12 volts. The manual did say that the PCM puts 12 volts to this solenoid. So it's not 5, anything like that. It's 12. So I've got 12 cranked up here on the power supply. Got full current to it. So now, like I said, the computer will pulse this, and at 100% it's basically full on. This isn't got a pulse width mode. This is going to be a full 12 volts going to it. We'll see what kind of current we pulled here. This power supply is able to pull 10 amps, so as long as it doesn't go over 10 amps, we should be good. Now I just heard a click. It's pulling about 1.6 amps, which that's good. I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to try to blow air through it and see if there's any, whoops, lead popped off. Hold on. I'm going to see if there's any air blowing through it while the solenoid is energized. Okay. And there's not. There's no air whatsoever coming out. The air you hear is coming out around this hole right here. I'm trying to push this as much as I can, and the air is literally popping back through this hole. So the valve is still closed. So the question is, can we clean this to get that working? The solenoid's wanting to work. I actually heard a click whenever I put power to it. I don't know if you heard it or not. So it's trying to open that valve. So what I've got here, let's get this out of the way. We're done with it. Is I've got an ultrasonic cleaner. We're sitting at about 43 degrees Celsius, and I've kind of got a little basket rigged up right here. I don't like to contaminate the entire deal or have to use a whole bunch of cleaner, so I've just got a common degreaser in here. Got a little basket floating in there. We're going to see if we can submerge this to the point to where we're not going to get into the solenoid itself, and then we'll go into, I don't know, set this for about 10 minutes. And we're just going to see if that will actually clean it up and free it to where it'll start working. So I'm just going to let that run for the 10 minutes, and I'll turn the camera back on, and we'll see what it does. I can already see it's getting darker. The cleaning degreaser is getting darker. Make sure that once in those cavities. Alright, I'll turn the camera on whenever we get down to less than a minute. Okay, we're down to about 30 seconds or so. See a pile of sludge right there, so it's definitely Doing some good cleaning. Go ahead and end it. That is just solid black. Look at that. I'm going to just blow it off with air. Flashlight. Oh, right here in front of me. Still a lot of black in there. See if we can energize it. Still nothing, so I'm going to go ahead and set this ultrasonic cleaner to 30 minutes, and we're going to see what that does. Which is the max time that this ultrasonic cleaner will let you do. Okay, so we're coming up on 30 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the machine off. We'll pull the EGR valve out. And blow it off with some air. Flashlight. Looks cleaner. Question is, will it work? Nope, me let's turn that off. Scoot it out of the way a little bit. Ooh, that sounded good. Okay. Turn the light on. And yep. I'm gonna try to get this to where you guys can see it. No guarantees. That thing is now working. So let me get the air hose. Obviously, since we can visibly see the valve open, we know that, so right now, very low. I mean, there's a little bit making it by, but it's virtually none. So open it up. Wide open. So there it is. The ultrasonic cleaner come through, it looks like. Now why would you want to do this? Well, this is the OEM EGR valve, which is probably the best quality you're going to ever be able to get for your vehicle. Any aftermarket's probably not going to be as good, most likely. So if that panel is stuck, if the resistance checks good, and you're able to get it cleaned up and moving, then why not put it back on and give it a shot, see how long it'll last. If you clean it up good enough to where it's nice and free, like this appears to be now, it may last quite a while. It may be better and outlast a brand new aftermarket. And you saved a few dollars. And you didn't have to run up to the auto parts store. So anyway, I guess we proved that these are able to be cleaned and get to working again. Anyway, 2009, this was off of a Wrangler, but anything, I think this was a 3.8 liter engine, the V6 that came in the JK Jeeps, whatever other vehicles that they used that engine on that's got this style EGR valve. You can probably do the same thing. Not telling you that's the way to do it, just giving you that option. And I'm also not saying you have to use an ultrasonic cleaner to clean one of these. If you can get in there with a brush and a little bit of degreaser and cleaner, you can probably get it cleaned up. Now, you saw the way this thing opens up, right? Goes down. So even if you tapped it like this to get the momentum, helping move that valve down, you know, just tap it on something hard like your driveway or a solid bench, that would help dislodge that valve and get it freed up. And once you got it freed up, you'd have a better chance of you know, getting it cleaned up good. So anyway, just another tip. Again, I'm not saying you have to use an ultrasonic cleaner. I just happen to have one, so I used it. You could just spray this down, let it soak, you know, and try it that way. And like I say, if you can, and you don't have to have a power supply to put power to this. If you you know, got a couple jumpers that you can just hook to your car battery, then you know, that's all it would take is you know, just hooking it to your car battery. So anyway, all right, I'm done. You guys take care. We'll see you.